Hey, what's good? I'm Kinell and this is Sinister Cinema, where we get deep into the guts of classics and new releases from horror and exploitation cinema. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, stick the bell on if you want to be notified, all those kind of things. You know how YouTube works, I haven't got to tell you these things. And check us on the socials, on Twitter at Sinister_cinema and Instagram at Sinister.cinema. Hey, you know it's always a good day for me when there's a new full moon film out, and today is one of them days. We started off this channel with a full moon release, and we got a brand new one today, and it's a new installment in the Puppet Master franchise. So let's get into it. This is Blade: The Iron Cross.
He's going to kill us. There are more murders every week.
You have 5 dead bodies.
Miss Ivanhoe.
This girl, who's shown up out of the blue at every one of our crime scenes.
My real talent is seeing future in my dreams.
We all have our secrets.
You're not like the others, are you?
We are working here to perfect this. I have expanded upon his procedure.
Time for some pitching practice.
This goes high up, and I don't trust anybody.
You are a madman. I made sacrifices.
You are not indestructible!
So, Blade: The Iron Cross from Full Moon Features. This is one of the Deadly 10, which is a thing they had going on before the whole Corona thing, when they started pulling out the Corona exploitation thing, where they were doing a load of sequels to a lot of the bangers in their back catalogue. I think we got a new Femme Alien and a new Subspecies film coming out too, which I'm quite excited for. Subspecies, in my opinion, is one of the most it's one of the most underrated franchises in horror. I don't really know that many people that don't fuck with Subspecies, but I know a lot of people who haven't seen it, so that's worth checking out. But the Puppet Master franchise is very close to my heart. So when I heard Blade: The Iron Cross was dropping, well, it's Friday, the 26th of June, and it dropped today, and I woke up early this morning just to watch it. So that lets you know where I stand on it. This one pulls, but obviously the last Puppet Master film to be released was under Fangoria, and that was Puppet Master: The Littlest Reich, which was kind of a reboot, kind of a sequel, which sort of put the puppets on the side of the Nazis. But this pulls it back to the main thread of the Puppet Master timeline, where Toulon was originally against the Nazis. So we got some to put this film into timeline. It's several decades before the current day first Puppet Master film, but it's after the one set in the war, Axis Termination, all the Axis trilogy, all of them ones. And Tanya Fox is back here, reprising her role from Axis Termination as Eliza, the psychic journalist. And obviously, as you might guess by the title, we've only got one puppet in this one. Yes, Blade, one of my favourites. I mean, admittedly, this is always going to be a bit of a thing for the series because they've never really had a spin-off of a single puppet before, and one of the best things about the Puppet Master franchise was because you always had a lot of puppets, you got a lot of different styles of kill because they all had their own little specialties. Fucking Leech Woman was always a favourite of mine. Fucking in the first one when she's chucking up leeches like it's absolutely minging. One of my favourite kills in any horror movie. And you know, you've got what should we call it, Pinhead twatting people in the chops. Lovely stuff. But yeah, Blade, is it unfair to say he's possibly the most iconic? Very significant look about him with the hook and the blade. I think, I don't know if I'm reaching to say he's the most iconic, but he's the first one I think of when I think of this Puppet Master franchise. Now, this film obviously set after the war, and there's some Nazi shenanigans going on, and fucking Elisa, who spends I'd say about half the fucking film topless, by the way. Fucking Charles Band, he fucking sticks to his guns on that. It's been a long time since you had to put tits in a film to sell it, but he does it anyway. Bless him. Yeah, so I think that kind of works in a way though. It keeps up the old early 90s straight to video exploitation vibe, which is what I like from Full Moon. And yeah, so she's in possession of Blade, who's a bit quiet, but there's a sinister Nazi doctor, some evil plans going on. And yeah, they're fucking, I'd say my biggest criticism of it is that there isn't, the kills don't kick off until about half hour. We get our first Blade kill 30 minutes in, but it's only an hour and 10 minutes, so things step up pretty rapid like that. And the human plot, which isn't what I watch the Puppet Master films for, generally, I only watch them for the kills, is actually pretty engaging. So if you go in with that in mind, you are not going to get a relentless hour and 10 minutes of puppet kills, but it has got a good plot, so go into it with that in mind. And yeah, you know, evil Nazi doctor, fucking, you know, in real life he'd have probably gone to work for the American government and be involved in NASA or some shit like that, but you know, this is the movies, so he just carries on just doing evil shit for no reason, but he does have a bit of a scheming plan. There's some quite engaging characters in this other than Tanya Fox's Elisa, and yeah, so it's a pretty good thing to follow. And the kills themselves are some of Blade's finest work. Obviously we're on a low budget, a lot of it set in a single location, which I believe is the same warehouse that was used for the previous two Full Moon, like not counting the Littlest Reich, the previous two Full Moon Puppet Master entries. And yeah, fucking like decent practical effects, nice and bloody, and it builds to a tremendous climax. Fucking honestly, I would not recommend this one as a starting point for the Puppet Master genre. It's fucking better. There's a lot worse entries in it, in the franchise. But yeah, this one is just a lot of fucking fun. I like it a lot. I had a really good time with this one. Fucking granted, I am a big fan of the franchise, and you know what, I've got a spontaneous week off work at the minute, so maybe I could do the deep dive into every Puppet Master film, but there's a lot of them. But they're all on the Full Moon app, so I've got them anyway, so I might as well. And that's the other thing really, like, I mean, the Full Moon app is worth having, in my opinion. There's just a lot of banging content on there. There's some fucking great films, some grindhouse classics, lots of good fucking. I've already gone into my love of the Blue Underground section, and they've been pulling some more stuff up lately. They've got an extreme cinema section, which has a lot of necromantic guys. Got Necromantic 1, 2, and the Death King in there. And there's some good exploitation films I haven't seen on top of the Full Moon back catalogue, and the Full Moon back catalogue is extensive. There's a lot going on there. So yeah, fucking, whilst I wouldn't necessarily buy this on Blu-ray, I would say if you have the Full Moon app, it's worth a watch. It's fun, it's a good time. I'd give it 3.5 out of 5. And if you haven't got the Full Moon app, there's plenty to make it worth your while. So yeah, I'd say that's a pretty solid recommendation. That's Blade the Iron Cross. So anyway, I've been Kinell, this is Sinister Cinema. Hit the socials, which I stuck in the corner at the start of thing. They're also down there in the comments. Give us a like if you've got any opinions on the franchise, or if you've seen this film, whether you agree, whether you disagree, whatever, leave me a comment down there. Subscribe, little bell thing, bloody blur, YouTube things, Twitter at sinister.cinema, at sinister_cinema, Instagram at sinister.cinema. Safe.